Can you look at the pale blue dot on your screen? That's home, that's Earth. It's a picture which was taken by Voyager 1 almost 6 billion kilometers away from Sun. And here, Earth looks like a speck of dust under a beam of sunlight. So, you live on this pale blue dot where everything appears to be so huge. A little blue dot which is full of chaos, inflated egos. Every small deal feels so big and overwhelming. There's pressure in every aspect, there's divide and rule. But right at the edge of the solar system, this huge world of yours, this overwhelming world of yours, looks like a dot, a very lonely dot. From here, every worry, every aspect of life seems so insignificant. In this vastness of universe, in this treasure of universe, we can find so many ways to find our purpose, to find our happiness and comfort. And nothing should be ever taken seriously because you are a part of this pale blue dot, and there are much bigger worlds waiting for you. There is much more to life than chaos. And when I look at this pale blue dot, I often wonder, have you ever looked at yourself in your life from a faraway distance? And this may change our view and perspective about a life. And whenever I look at this pale blue dot, there is this one question which comes in my mind. Have you ever looked at yourself and your life from a faraway distance? Would it change something about how you live and approach things in life? So, this pale blue dot reminds me so much about how the 12th house functions, how it works, the duality connected to this house, because 12th house is ruled by Pisces, a dual sign. So, there are two different directions how you can deal with this house or what this house represents. The first one is either you overwhelm, overburden yourself and forget to look into your inner treasure and your inner narrative, your shame, your guilt is ruling over you. It is defining your thoughts, it's defining your approach towards life. Or the second way is look at yourself from a distance. Look at yourself with a different view, and then you will realize how the biggest issues of your journey are not so big. At least they're not bigger than you, and you always have endless possibilities. Every day you can change your actions, you can change your approach, and make things much better. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today let's talk about 12th house. What does 12th house represents in astrology? Whether this house is a curse or a blessing, or maybe both. So 12th house is the most misunderstood house till now, which has always been associated to misery, difficulties, pain, some kind of loss. So it's always in the bad light. So let's talk about what are the good things about this house, and of course what are the challenges associated to it. How 12th house is not just about expenditures, foreign lands, or imprisonment, or separation, isolation. This is also a house about dreams. It is the house of how you talk to yourself, because that self talk can enhance your life, your efforts. That self talk can destroy you as well. So creating yourself, destroying yourself, a lot connected to this house. And the answer to this question, whether the 12th house is a curse or a blessing, well, I would say it's both. It's a blessing and a curse together. Now, why this house is difficult, why this house is a curse? Because it represents a lot of things which are not in our control. Because this house is associated to your psychology, your subconscious mind, and the past life memories, the past experiences do impact this house. So those experiences will define how you're going to respond, how you are going to react to certain situations, how you will feel, and how these feelings will reach up to the surface. Okay, your internal ideas, your beliefs are decided by those experiences. Also, 12th house is about your prenatal life, when you were in the womb of your mother. So whatever happened around you, the environment, the changes, the events, or what your parents or your mother was dealing with, again, these situations are out of control. And these things, again, left a huge impact on your psychology and how you are learning things about life, and what is your approach towards different aspects of life. So these are the things which are out of control. 12th house also talks about sudden events. Yes, 8th house is also that, but 12th house is also unexpected problems coming into your life unexpectedly, and either we surrender to them or either we constantly fight with those challenges. So 12th house do holds on to certain factors which are uncontrollable. And why this house is a blessing? Because this is the house of dreams, this is the house of imagination. There's this saying, what you think you become. So if on one hand this is about self-destructive behavior, then this is also a house where you can change a lot. When you talk nicely to yourself, when you work on yourself positively, if you're giving a positive feedback to your mind that I can do this, I can change this, I think you will create a life which you want. Maybe not exactly what you want, but you are doing something great and it will come back to you. This is the house which defines the potential of your mind. 12th house ruled by Pisces, the deepest ocean. Within this deepest ocean, there is some kind of guilt, shame, fears, but also there is so much of talent, imagination, creativity, so much of knowledge and wisdom you carry. The more you take out that knowledge, the more you will find in the deepest parts of your subconscious. So it's a blessing and a curse, both. Now, let me give you a quick example. And this example will help you to understand the two different approaches of the 12th house, how you can understand the duality connected to this house. You can go one way or the other way. One is leading to more of limited beliefs, limited imagination, and one is taking you to growth and expansion, because ultimately this is the house of Jupiter, naturally ruled by Pisces. So till now in my life, I came across at least three people who said the same line to me, and the meaning of this particular line is very unnerving. At least for me, I felt very uncomfortable when I listened to it. So this happened in my college. For the first time, it happened when I was in the university. So my teacher told me, nothing happens the way we want to. Now, it was like someone is saying, don't look at the stars, don't look towards the sky, just focus on the dirt on your feet, focus on that mud on the ground. I partially agree with this particular line, that nothing happens the way we want to. And a lot of people may not agree here with this, and there will be people who may agree with this, but I partially agree. So when I set a belief that nothing happens the way I want to, it is kind of an imprisonment. Okay, 12th house is about imprisonment.
So you are limiting your life, you're limiting your actions, you're limiting your gift of imagination, you're limiting your creativity and your dreams. So somewhere it will stop you from taking actions. Okay, you are surrendering, which is good, but there are certain aspects of life where you have to constantly work. You cannot limit yourself. What my belief is that suppose you want something, you want to reach to a certain destination. Okay, so even if you don't reach to that desired place, at least you will reach to a place far better from where you have started. Okay, so that is the second approach of the 12th house. Okay, maybe I won't be there where I want to be, but I will be happy, I will be successful. Something is better than nothing, maybe. So at least I tried, at least I worked, at least I used my creativity, at least I was working on something. So I reached to a place which is better than I was before. So these are the two different approaches. One is about limiting beliefs, and the other one is about getting free, getting more connected to your inner self, understanding your potential. It's about setting yourself free from limited beliefs. So this is the duality of the 12th house. And also 12th house greatly impacts your partnerships, the marriage, because 12th house is 6 places away from the 7th house. So your beliefs will reflect in the marriage. Also it defines what kind of obstacles or conflicts you are dealing with your partner. And this is also the house of dreams, not just the dreams you see while sleeping, but it is also the dreams you want to come true, like the dreams you want to achieve in life. So any kind of fear, any kind of guilt or shame will instantly block you from transforming that dream into reality. So your beliefs can keep you in jail, like they can keep you in imprisonment, or your beliefs can set you free as well. They can help you to dream and achieve big in life. This is also the house of isolation. So why it is important to be isolated, why it's important to be separate from the world, because the more you go into isolation, the more you disconnect with others, the more you will find yourself. Sometimes we do need silence, we do need our own space to find who we truly are. So on one hand, this is about isolation, about feeling stuck and limited, but 12th house is also this sanctuary where you have all the beautiful things about your life, your dreams, your desires, how you feel about yourself, how amazingly you're connected to the higher power. This is your beautiful little world which gives you a lot of power. Like you need not to find happiness through others, you can find it within yourself, your journey, your aims, whatever you love doing. This is the house which is about focusing on those things which you love, which you enjoy, and then you're still happy in isolation too, you're still happy when you're alone. This is also the house of sleep. So sleep plays such an important role in life. If you don't sleep well, it just impacts everything, it delays everything, it impacts your efficiency to work. And when you sleep well, your body functions so amazingly, you fulfill your goals in such a great way, you're more happy, you're more active and focused. So 12th house is directly impacting your health, the body clock as well. So that's why 12th house is about blessings and also a house of curses. And it's all about how you take care of your thoughts, how you talk to yourself. And the way you talk to yourself, it can make your life a blessing or it can make your life very difficult. Now, let's briefly discuss how the different 9 planets will function in the 12th house. My major focus is on how a placement here impacts your psychology, your early part of life, your childhood, and how this is defining your behavior, your response system, your approach towards life, and of course, how the 12th house is also impacting your partnerships. And you don't have to just look at the 12th house of Rashi, but also the 12th house of Navamsha. See where the 12th Lord is placed, which planet rules the 12th house. So everything needs to be checked.
If Sun is in the 12th house or it's associated to the 12th Lord of your chart, it gives troubles with respect to vision, which means your eyesight and also the spiritual vision through which you look at yourself and the world, how you look into your future. Like everyone has a certain vision, they have a certain idea about what they want to do in life, how they can achieve it. And when Sun reaches here, that vision gets impacted. Trusting the process, trusting your own self and your efforts gets difficult. This leads to identity crisis. Repeating issues related to the father's family or something which is coming through the ancestors, the father's ancestors, may block your growth and sense of self worth. Like it could be a trait which was there in the ancestors, it could be your father, forefathers, and that trait is repeating again and again. It reached to you through inheritance. It could be certain situations, certain patterns which are happening again and again in the families, and it is inherited in you as well. So that repeating pattern will act as a major burden. And with this, you have a duty, you have this opportunity, I would say, to break that pattern, because that trait, that pattern, whatever situation was, you know it's not working you and it is keeping you away from reaching to your full potential. So disconnecting with that burden is happening. So for a lot of people, they disconnect from the family roots, or disconnection with father is indicated. For some it might not be the case, but yes, for a lot of people, Sun creates disconnection with what the family was doing or what the forefathers were doing, their trait, their qualities. You tend to be different. Father could be absent in the early part of life or was quite busy in establishing a better financial foundation. So there is a distance between you and the father. Now, Sun is sixth from the seventh house, sixth house from the seventh house. Identity crisis, ego issues, power struggles in the marriage partnership may act as a major obstacle, or whatever troubles you might have seen in your own domestic life, what your parents were dealing with, you may see something repeating in your own partnerships. You are someone who is very caring and sensible, but very stubborn in approach. You may not like changes happening very quickly in life, and it's difficult to blend with the changes happening in the world. The true purpose in this life is to find yourself. Self discovery, self awareness is the most important aspect of this journey. If Moon is in the 12th house or associated with the 12th house through aspect or conjunction, it indicates during the time of your birth there was some kind of complication your mother was dealing with, or you were a premature baby or you were a breech baby, and it led to a lot of health complications for you too. So there was a struggle when you were born to survive and to be healthy. And it also indicates separation or isolation in the younger years of life. The mother was too busy in dealing with her own issues, or maybe the family issues, leading to lack of care, security, and affection from her. And also, it indicates like when you were in the womb, your mother's womb, she dealt with emotional challenges where she felt there's not enough security and love for you. So you too developed this deep need, urge to find emotional security in life. That becomes your motto. You will always look out for security, whether it's your work, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your social circle, whatever you want. You really need a degree of security and protection in that, because you might be emotionally vulnerable. You may become highly sensitive and emotional, and people may think that you have no emotions. Why so? Because you're very good at hiding your emotions. You may appear to be very strong, you may appear to be um, very cold sometimes, because you have shown your emotions time to time to other people, and the more you show your emotional side, the more you feel that others are taking you for granted, or maybe they're getting rude to you. So at one point of time you start hiding your emotions, and all of this is done because you don't want that other people should hurt you. It's a beautiful placement for creative work, imaginative work. You are highly intuitive, and you may develop psychic abilities as well. And you might work a lot for other people through charity, through healing, maybe getting into some kind of healing work, maybe nursing, maybe a doctor. So you're providing help, providing service to other people so that they can heal. But it's a difficult placement where your own actions can destroy your path. Your own mind, your own emotions can be your own enemy. Like you're underestimating yourself. Your fears are so powerful that because of those fears, you just stop working towards your goals, or you underestimate yourself. So, Moon in the 12th house is 6 places away from the 7th house, which shows how childhood emotional issues might resurface in the marriage partnership, like how you connect with your partner, emotional connection. There will be troubles in establishing the right compatibility, because how this person behaves with you, what are your beliefs, this might be a bit different. And this is leading to certain childhood wounds coming back to surface. When Mars is in the 12th house, or it is associated to the 12th lord, it gives great power and potential, explosive potential, but all packed and buried deep within. And one has to release a lot of anger, one has to release tensions, worries, frustration to reach to that potential. This placement gives trouble with respect to courage and willpower. One has to learn how to be consistent with the efforts, because whatever you are doing, whatever goal you have, at one point of time you may lose motivation, you may lose energy to do things. So reaching to that final point, completing your work, gets difficult. When you were in your mother's womb, your mother dealt with extreme emotions like anger, frustration, anxiousness, or maybe some kind of fear. Also, she might have stayed in the hospital for a long duration, or maybe you were born after some kind of surgical procedure. So, you too carry those extreme emotions. I was just telling you how you need to release your extreme emotions like anger, frustration, to reach to your potential. So, something coming through the mother as well, those extreme feelings of anger. You may feel agitated very quickly, you may feel too excited quite quickly. So, control on emotions, control on how you react to the daily issues is important. And when you are dealing with these extreme emotions, it leads to lack of focus. Like all of that
mental and physical energy is drained and gone into the wrong places, such things which doesn't matter much for you, and you just lose your focus. Health issues associated to your head, maybe inflammation, high fever, excess of heat may be the reason for developing health issues. Digestive troubles might also happen. And you might have got a little cut around your eyes or maybe on your forehead in the childhood. So, Mars here in the 12th house means that you need to work on your anger. Maybe anger was an issue even in the past life as well, and you have to keep a check on your impulsive response, your impulsive actions as well. Take things slowly, and once you start doing this, you will see that you have more energy, you have more power to work on important aspects of life, and there is a great need of freedom. Maybe in the early childhood, freedom was something which was missing. You wanted to do things on your own, you required some independence, but you didn't had enough freedom at that time. So as you grow up, with respect to your work, with respect to decisions, you always want to be independent. You seek freedom in how you execute your plans, whether it's related to your life, your health, your work, all aspects of life. Mars in the 12th house, it's 6 places away from your 7th house of partnerships. So it may lead to arguments and conflicts in the relationship. For some people, it could also lead to legal issues. And on one hand, this placement is about understanding your strong potential and using that potential to achieve great things, do wonders in life, to rise independently. On the other hand, the same placement can be self destructive. Your actions may bring problems for you, especially your anger or impulsive reaction. Also, with respect to money, this may lead to financial debts. When Mercury is in the 12th house or it's associated to the 12th lord, it indicates one takes a lot of time to process their thoughts, observations, and situations. And of course, it leads to overthinking as well. Your observation power is amazing. You learn from little things of life. You observe every small detail and it brings great information. Your mind is full packed with information. But it gets difficult to express what you feel. So it may lead to quick escape from people because you're finding it hard to express what you are thinking, what you want to say. You may feel that you may not get approval from others, they may not agree to what you have to say. So there is lack of confrontation, and especially through your speech, it is the most difficult thing to express. You may not use your words enough to express what you want to say. You may find writing is the best way to express yourself, or even reading is the best way through which you're expressing yourself, or you're finding to deal with a certain emotion. You're finding it easy to settle something in your mind when you write or you read. That is the best way through which you find peace. The more you talk to others, the more you may feel mentally, emotionally drained. Therefore, with this placement, one needs to spend time alone in silence. That is the best remedy which can recharge your mind. It can make you more focused towards your goals. You have great goals, but completion of those goals gets impacted here. So, having your own me time, having some time where you're just focusing on yourself, this is the best thing
to recharge. When you were in your mother's womb, your mother also found it difficult to express herself, or she was dealing with manipulative family members. So you also developed trust issues because of that experience of your mother. Sixth from the seventh house, 12th house having Mercury, it is leading to trust issues in marriage or obstacles with respect to communication. Maybe there is a lot of um, interference in the partnership. Other people are interfering in the marriage, bringing confusion. So, communication needs to be established here, better understanding needs to be established here, and struggle with children is also indicated, struggling to convey your message, or maybe some struggles during the childbirth. With respect to your early childhood experiences, Mercury here does indicate you might have dealt with speech issues. Either you were being silenced, you were not allowed to speak a lot, or simply there was some kind of difficulty in your speech and it made you felt a bit disappointed, like the people are not very supportive towards you because you have some kind of issue with the speech, or simply you were being misunderstood by people because you are not expressing yourself enough, you are not talking your truth. And Mercury here do give financial success in the foreign lands. You will definitely have some kind of gain from faraway places, and um, it is acting as a blessing as well, because you're a very good learner when it comes to languages. You may show great interest in learning different cultures, different spiritual texts, different languages, so you will learn many things altogether. And constantly you may also feel an urge that you have to change yourself according to the world. Maybe that is the reason why you do not express yourself, because what you think is very different from what the world is thinking. So there is constant desire to change yourself as per the world, and the best thing which you can do is self acceptance, understanding your true knowledge, understanding the way of your thinking. It's different, but self acceptance is important. You need to change with the world, it's important, but the very core of you, how you think, how you perceive things, you need to give some credit to yourself, you need to value yourself. When Jupiter is in the 12th house, or it's associated with the 12th lord through aspect or conjunction, it shows a lot of concern regarding wealth, possessions, and how to grow your money. Because one tends to undergo major financial fluctuations. Either there is some kind of financial constraint, there is limitation, and even if there is no limitation, one has to keep a check on the spending capacity, because what's happening here, that you are spending more than what you are getting. There should be a control on how you are spending your money, and unexpected expenditures might also happen. The journey starts with the disbelief in the matters of spirituality and religion, but eventually, the entire life path revolves around attaining spiritual knowledge and establishing a close connection with divine. There is definitely a past life karma connected to a spiritual place, maybe a temple, a pilgrimage, a memory, some kind of act associated to it, which brought difficulties for others, or a bad experience coming through a guru, a bad experience at a spiritual place as well. So the journey starts with disbelief. And if there is no disbelief with respect to spirituality, the connection with the higher power, it leads to extreme curiosity towards the spiritual world. and this curiosity grows with time. So a lot depends upon in which sign Jupiter is placed, in which nakshatra it's placed, and what all houses the Jupiter is ruling in your chart. But one thing is very clear, that the ultimate destination is about spirituality. And Jupiter here does give great knowledge and wisdom. With respect to your early childhood, one may develop fear associated to a certain subject at school. There's definitely difficult experiences connected to the schooling, how you were learning at that time, what kind of surroundings you had, or difficult experiences coming through the teachers. So, those experiences coming through school, coming through attaining education, those experiences deeply impact the adulthood. Whatever you experience at that time, it will challenge you when you are a grown up. That fear associated to the childhood, especially connected to your schooling. And here, Jupiter makes one a great learner. You will learn a lot about yourself. You may become your own teacher. You will extract a lot of knowledge, wisdom through your own life experiences. When you were in your mother's womb, at that time, one of your parents were dealing with issues with their own parents, or some kind of financial crisis was going on at that time. And your mother's faith was being tested. Her faith, her trust on divine, her beliefs were tested at that time. And her faith will impact your faith as well. There is something common between your belief systems. Maybe whomsoever she is connected to, the deity, you will also have a great connection with that force, with that deity. So her faith, her spiritual beliefs will impact you a lot. Jupiter in this house do bring a degree of luck. It's like you will be given the right opportunity at the right time, no matter how difficult things were, or sometimes your own mistakes created issues. Sometimes you messed up. You had this opportunity but you didn't work on it. It may happen in this lifetime. But still, Jupiter do bring some kind of a gift opportunity to you from time to time, and this will help you not just to expand your knowledge, but also it will help you with the wealth as well. And your life will be a mystery. Your life will be a mystery to a lot of people and to you as well. Your ability to look deeper, to find answers, it might be difficult, but you will find your answers. And you don't have to look for answers outward, you have to look for the answers inward. With Jupiter in the 12th house, it's important to have faith on your own self. The moment you lose faith on yourself, you will block your path, you will block the expansion coming into your life, and you need to be in touch with the reality as well, the practical side of life. And Jupiter is 6 places away from your 7th house. So your health may get impacted a lot. Your health needs great care. And maybe the health issues or the cultural issues or problems associated to the children may act as an obstacle in the partnership, in the marriage. Maybe your and your partner's beliefs are very different, and this may act as an obstacle. If Venus is in the 12th house or associated to the 12th lord through aspect or conjunction, it does give struggles in the love life, because Venus is the karaka of relationships, partnerships, affection, exchange of emotions, love, balance. Now, many will say Venus in 12th house, that's the best placement for Venus, because this is the house ruled by Pisces. So if you have Venus in Pisces, it's a different story. Yes, things may get better. If it's in Libra, still it will be a better placement. But a lot depends upon the sign placement of Venus, in which nakshatra it is placed in the 12th house. Venus here do bring struggles in partnership. So I'm giving a general description here, and maybe in the upcoming videos we'll talk about how Venus works in every sign and in every nakshatra. Okay, so Venus here gives problems with expressing care and affection towards others. It's not that such people who have this placement are not sensitive or caring enough, but very difficult to express their emotions in relationships, as they fear it won't be reciprocated. Because I was telling you, Venus has a lot to do with exchange, reciprocation. What I give to others, I do expect back. Okay? So there's a fear of lack of justice in relationships, lack of reciprocation. In the childhood, it was being taught expressing your emotional side makes one powerless. In the younger years, especially in the childhood, that physical touch, that physical touch of care, affection was missing. Like how a mother kisses the forehead of her child, how she hugs her child. This element was also missing. So as this person grows up into an adult, need to experience some kind of physical gesture of love, like a hug or a gentle pat on the head. So these expressions, these kinds of touch of love and affection, this just grows and grows. And for some, it also is about physical intimacy. The need of the intimacy is so strong. And um, one waits a lot to express love. One waits a lot to be in a commitment, because Venus is 6 places away from the 7th house. So one becomes very calculative about the equality coming into the relationship. And this is a classic placement of secret romance, platonic relationships, long distance relationships. But the good thing is, there's a creative talent coming through the parents, one of the parents. And this creative talent is definitely developed in the adulthood. A beautiful creative potential is there. It could be music, it could be dancing, it could be singing, it could be painting, and this does give a lot of recognition. When you were in the womb of your mother, the mother lacked care and affection, or the parents were struggling to keep the marriage stable and strong. So, this is the reason leading to trouble with respect to commitment in relationships, in partnership. All that hidden sensitivity, all that um, emotions which you have, which you're not showing to others, you use that beautiful energy, that hidden emotions, towards providing care to maybe animals, providing care to the people who are unprivileged. So this is a good placement for charity as well. Venus here also gives eyesight issues, problems with your vision, so take care of that. And it also impacts the another vision through which you see the world. Do not judge anything very quickly. Always look at the two sides of the coin and then reach to a judgment. So you have to focus on the two aspects of everything. Everything has two different aspects, so you need to check both sides of the story. If you have planet Saturn in the 12th house, or it's associated to the 12th lord through aspect or conjunction, one tends to deal with brain fog, a kind of fatigue and dullness where one feels confused or too tired, which impacts the ability to take actions. Whatever happens around you, especially if it's something negative, it will drain you. You might be very good in fighting those issues, encountering those issues, but it leaves a long lasting impact on your mind, and you feel drained a lot. And this could be also something which you may witness on a daily basis. You feel tired, there is sluggishness with respect to your mind and your physical energy as well. And most importantly, this placement impacts the sleep. You do stay awake for long duration at the night, or most of the constructive work is being done at the night. It could be a hobby, it could be your professional work, whatever you are doing, like you feel it's done better at night. You are your best at that time. And deep insecurities are there with Saturn in the 12th house. A lot of fears about life, because 12th house is the house which is also about things which are beyond our control. And once Saturn reaches here, one has to find um, answers, like I need to fix this, I need to control this aspect of life. So you have to learn a lot of things, especially with this control aspect, that maybe I cannot control the things, but I can control my actions, I can control myself. Saturn is about structure and stability. And when it is here in the 12th house, this becomes your purpose, to find stability and structure, and you do not have to look outward for that. If you look outward for that stability, structure, and strength, this will constantly give you chaos. This will constantly make you weak. There is a pattern, a karmic pattern indicated by Saturn here, that you create a structure in life, whether it's with respect to your work, your routine, your habits, your goals, your relationships. You're very good at creating things, you are very good to work towards your goals. But at one point, that structure gets weak, it gets destroyed. Because the essence of Saturn here is not to create structure outward, but to create structure deep within, by having more discipline in life, working on your mental strength, physical strength, working on how you deal with the world, how you approach things, your response system. So, inner work. Here, Saturn looks for your inner backbone, that spiritual backbone. It needs to be strong. And it does impact your dreams. One may deal with disturbing dreams and nightmares. And it's all because of that internal insecurities, fears, stress. It all comes up to such disturbing dreams, which do impact your sleep. When you were in the mother's womb, okay, so the mother underwent long term hospitalization, or she was not given enough care during the pregnancy. In your early years, in your childhood, father was less involved in your life, or one of your parent didn't have the strength and stability to cope with challenges, and it may reflect in you as well. So, creating stability, structure in life is important. Finding your strength, well, you have to do that by yourself. Like, no one will rescue in that process. You have to help yourself. And of course, your spiritual path, your connection with divine will also help you in this. Others may put you in doubt about your self worth. So Saturn is 6 places away from the seventh house. What you have seen in your family, what you might have seen in your parents' relationship, this may bring a fear or hesitation, which is surfacing up in your partnerships. And hidden enemies are also a very important aspect of life. And you need to understand who is your well wisher and who is not. And you may question your partner's decisions, and this person may also question your decisions in life. So taking up responsibilities in the marriage, it is a very important factor here. How you together will work on this partnership and the responsibilities, how you will share the duties. Further, with Saturn in the 12th house, you may undergo health issues associated to your feet, spine, some kind of problems with the muscles of your back, of your hip, your legs, or problems connected to your eyes or your dentition. When Rahu is in the 12th house or it's associated to the 12th lord, well, this placement is considered to be prosperous. You will always find something good about this placement. Why? Because if you use your powers, if you use your intelligence, your talents wisely, it brings abundance. It's all about what you are doing, how you are navigating your life. Here, Rahu brings health issues or crisis in the early childhood, which brought the need to have control or grip over every aspect of life. This is the biggest challenge for you, trying to have a control over everything, trying to win over everything. It's not in a physical, but more in an emotional and mental way through which you have to resolve your challenges. Here, Rahu gives deep desire to move away from roots, not in a satisfaction in the place you were born. So, moving away from home may be the only way through which you may get expansion. You may see more opportunities. You may feel that your talents will be more appreciated in the foreign lands. And it could be a theme in your life more than your own people. It's always a stranger, always someone else who appreciates you, who tells you that, hey, you are good in this, you're doing good. But the own people, they are very challenging. As Rahu is 6 places away from the 7th house, one may face illusions, confusion, deception in the partnerships. So, for these people, it's important to give time to your relationships. Do not make any impulsive decisions. And especially, when you are planning for marriage, when it comes to compatibility, when it comes to understanding that person, you must be very careful, because there's a tendency that whomsoever you may attract, this person may show only one side of their personality, or they're pretending to be someone, and you may fail to understand the other side of this person. You may fail to understand this person's shortcomings as well. This house also represents the prenatal life, when you were in your mother's womb. So, Rahu here in the 12th house indicates your mother, when she was carrying you, she was focusing on her purpose. She was trying to find the meaning of life, the meaning of her existence. She was looking out for some kind of stability. She might be traveling at that time, dealing with strangers, dealing with the unknown, or she was having a doubt in her mind about her decisions, about something connected to the family life. Maybe she was dealing with betrayal at that time. So, Rahu means the unknown, and there was definitely a fear of unknown, and that fear might also be in you. Fear of uncertainty, fear of what's going to happen next. So, that kind of fear is very evident with Rahu. And Rahu here can make you a spendthrift. Money is important, but working on creating a structure with respect to finances is important. You may gain a lot through the foreign lands, but you're draining your money in very unexpected things, or unnecessary things. There's a blessing of creativity here, great imagination, ideas. You know how to attain your goals. You can make the strategies. You have that intellect, that power. But again, there are two pathways with Rahu in the 12th house. Either you focus on your work because you have a lot of power to create what you want, to reach to your goal, but on the other hand, it also leads to self-destructive behavior, leading to addictions, leading to such habits which are taking you away from your purpose. Or here Rahu is about having a better understanding about the world, and there is this ability to outsmart others. You know what's lacking at a place, and you know it, and you use that thing, you use that talent, you use that strategy, and here you are with something new, more effective, more productive. So if you dwell on the negative emotions, you dwell on your addictions, if you don't have proper structure or daily routine, then this is a self-destructive placement. And forgiving yourself, uh, not just focusing on what others are saying is important. Forgive others for your own sake, and forgive yourself as well. That's the remedy. That's the only way through which you can make your life more successful. You really need to work on your coping mechanism, how you deal with the setbacks of life. Never fall into addictions, never fall into unhealthy ways of coping with failures. Instead of that, focusing on how you can improve yourself is important. That is the best way to strengthen yourself. Ketu in the 12th house, or if it's associated with the 12th lord, it usually gives a restless state of mind. The more one tries to focus on something, the more the mind wanders from one thought to another. So the lack of focus, like bringing your all attention to one place, gets difficult. And Ketu in the 12th house do gives sudden events, like such difficult changes or event which may um, change your way of thinking towards life, a sudden shock. But on the other side, it is also a placement which do bring miracles, which do bring such change which will be hard to believe, but yes, it happened. Like you are being protected in a sudden way. Um, Something just came and changed your way because you needed protection, so you will be saved in some way. That is also a magic with Ketu. In early part of life, one might had taken refuge or found some comfort in an imaginary world, maybe with imaginary friends, or there's a lot of imagination to comfort yourself. And one has spent a lot of time alone in the childhood, so the imagination came as a major relief. This placement do bring great knowledge and spiritual gift, but it also makes it difficult to face the reality, the real world, dealing with the real life issues. The practical side of life is being challenged, and you withdraw quick from challenges. There is a tendency of um, holding on to a certain thought. Lack of confrontation is there, and sometimes you may feel, what is the point of explaining myself to other people? This kind of mindset is there, which create again problems. So Rahu is in the sixth house, Ketu in the 12th house, Rahu in the sixth house. Rahu is this telling you that, hey, you need to be bold with your work, you need to be bold in the approach towards life. You have to confront enemies, because no matter what planet goes in the 12th house, it will bring secret enemies. So here the secret enemies are distracting you from your goals, from your true strength. So you have to work a lot on your courage. And of course, either it brings addictions, or there's this other path where you are more spiritual, more focused towards spirituality. And I have told you how 12th house represents the state of mother when you were in the womb, and of course your early childhood. So when you were in the mother's womb, your mother might have been isolated. She might not had enough people around her, or she gave up on something. It could be an expectation, it could be hope, or she was dealing with a certain fear, finding it difficult to stay emotionally strong. Okay, and with this placement, one tends to find it quite difficult to set limits in life, to set boundaries in life. Sometimes you may do a certain work to great extent, like you're putting more efforts than required, and there are times when you're not doing enough at all. 12th house is 6 places away from the 7th house. So it talks about the obstacles and the conflicts happening in the marriage. So Ketu, 6 places away from the 7th house, indicates the real struggle here is to confront the issues in marriage for you and for your partner both. Confronting them, resolving the issues is difficult. Rather than working on them, one tends to sweep things under the rug, like ignoring the issues. They will not be resolved by themselves. So, facing the real thing is important, and it could be a challenge in the marriage. And also, the more you work towards resolving that deep sense of self doubt with Ketu in the 12th house, and you work more towards your confidence by understanding your true self, automatically the conflicts in the partnership will resolve.